It was a little tough when it first came out, but now how are you feeling about it?
Everything that I feel like has a bit of controversy or feels a little risky means that there's some truth behind it. And I felt like in time, people would understand or appreciate that point that everyone kind of goes through. And if you don't go through it, great. But for the ones that do, I feel like it's just interesting to feel the same as somebody else.
We are Channel Q. My name is Alex D, kicking it with you. And I have the one and only, the amazing, the talented Rita Ora. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thanks, Alex. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I mean, are you kidding? It's like so much fun. I love it.
It's amazing because you carved out time in your busy schedule because the album drops on Friday.
I know. I mean, it's crazy. This is my third album and I'm really excited. It's like I really wrote everything on this record and it's sort of like a reintroduction. And if people don't know me and they're hearing me right now, it's like a really good way to get to know me. It's a super personal album, but still very fun and exciting.
So is that kind of what the title is? It's You and I, right? So it's like you reintroducing yourself to the fans, or is there another meaning behind that?
Yeah, it's a bit of that. It's a bit of like introducing myself to new fans and my old fans as well, like just kind of reintroducing, because like I haven't put an album out for about 5 years. And so I really wanted people to feel close to me. You know, I wanted this album to kind of break down any kind of barriers or walls that might have been built up and, you know, things like that.
And the first song, Praising You, is absolutely amazing. I'm not even kidding you. It's probably because I knew I was going to talk to you today, but I woke up singing it. I was like, gosh, get out of my head.
Well, you know, it's a good feeling. It's a good feel song. I mean, if you're waking up to that kind of song, that means you're in a good mood.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, well, this weekend's Pride, so it's exciting.
I just did Pride in the UK. It was amazing.
Really, what has been your favorite place to perform? I mean, you've done multiple Prides, so what has been your favorite Pride to perform so far?
Oh my God. I think, honestly, I don't know if it's just because I just did it, but like in the UK, it was nice to see everyone like take over like the city of London. And it was like amazing. It was beautiful. It was colorful. It was like happy. Everyone was just like really happy to be there. It's just the best. Like Pride is just the best in every country. Like I've always just felt so welcomed and accepted and safe, you know.
How was the crowd when you did Praising You? I'm sure they went crazy.
They were dying for it. They were gagging because it was like they were on each other's shoulders and they were all just going,
oh my gosh.
Everyone was losing their shit. I mean, it was at like 4 p.m. too. So
yeah. What I thought was really cool is that you worked with your partner on the music video. Do you like working with him? Or is it kind of like...
I mean, listen, Tyco and I are creatively super in sync. Like he has got such a great sense of humor. Like we kind of really bonded over our love for the same thing. And so when I asked him to do the video, he was just super on board and we just like went with it. And it felt really just like cool and natural and easy.
It must be really easy. I mean, we mentioned the word safe a few times, but it must feel safe to have him with you as well.
Yeah, especially like he knows all my like tricks and things that I don't want to do and like how to make me sort of look good and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you have any future projects with him?
I'd love to do more. I mean, look, it's all about timing, making sure it makes sense, especially because we're together. Like me and Tyco have to make sure we kill it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to just do something kind of whack.
And speaking of like new projects coming out, we know you have your album. Are there any surprises that you have for us?
Well, it's more about being iconic. Like, I just wanted things to feel iconic. So I actually got a feature recently just come in and I just asked Keith Urban. I was like, hey, do you want to do something really? Yeah, I was like, do you want to do something? And, we became friends on The Voice. We both do The Voice in Australia. And he was just super supportive. And it felt really cool to get him on a song, especially because he's like, you know, an icon.
Right. Oh, absolutely. I mean, and you've worked with so many amazing people. I mean, Cardi B, Charlie XCX, BB Rexa, that song Girls still has San Diego in a chokehold.
I mean, I love a bit of San Diego. Shout out San Diego.
It was a little tough when it first came out, but now how are you feeling about it?
Everything that I feel like has a bit of controversy or feels a little risky means that there's some truth behind it. And I felt like in time, people would understand or appreciate that point that everyone kind of goes through. And if you don't go through it, great. But for the ones that do, I feel like it's just interesting to feel the same as somebody else. And when you have a song that like resembles it kind of resembles like purity, confusion, trust, acceptance. Like it felt a bit like an experience that I had that I wanted to share and so forth. And so like, I don't know. I mean, it did what it did, and now I'm really proud of it. And here we are years later, and we're doing a whole nother chapter. It's about growth and evolving.
Do you think that if you released that song today, you would have gotten a different reaction?
No, I probably would have got the same reaction. But only because it may have been a surprise to some people, which is understandable. You know, it wasn't something that was, I think, like a known common thing about Rita Ora, you know, me and sort of my personal experiences. And so that's why I put it out in my music. Hence why this album is the same. It's like, you're going to hear some shit on there that feels really kind of like personal, but it's my journey. And like, as an artist, all the people I've loved growing up, Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, Mick Jagger, like Tina Turner, like they didn't hide their stories, whether they were good or bad.
That's a really good way to put it. And especially drawing the inspiration from so many different levels and so many different artists, it must be a blueprint on how you can express yourself as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's your music. You should be able to talk about what you want.
Very true. And it just feels like all the haters out there always have something to say.
It's opinions. It's called, it's the world we live in. And that's fine. You know, everyone's going to have an opinion. You know, not everyone's going to like everything that you do in life.
Yeah, I felt a little, I guess the word is protective over you when that song came out, because it felt like our community had your back. But
yes, you really did. And
it was really everybody else that everyone was just like, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't speak for the people, but at that time I felt very protected. And I felt like, just like how I did when I was about 14, 15 years old. And I went out to my first house party or my first club and everything, all the underground dance scenes, all the underground rave scenes. It was the LGBTQIA plus community that introduced me to dance music, that introduced me to makeup, glamour, fashion, attitude, style, lifestyle, acceptance, being kind to one another, like judging. All of that life was from my experiences of going out and sort of being amongst the madness. Like, and so I'm not gonna like feel muted. I'm just gonna feel like I'm speaking for somebody that maybe can't speak.
Honestly, that's really beautiful the way you said that. So thank you. And I know that our community appreciates you time and time again. So awesome. So we know you have your album coming up July 14th. What's after that? Is there a tour that we can look forward to? What are we thinking?
Yeah, well, the album's out Friday. And then I actually have this idea of putting something out top of next year to potentially do this thing for the tour. But I mean, it's not finished. I'm just hypothetically speaking. But I'm definitely going to do my tour next year. I think for sure that's the plan.
Honestly, Rita, thank you so much. Means the world. Praise You out now. You and I out Friday. Let's get it.
Appreciate your time. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Au revoir.